Former United States Acting Secretary of Defense Christopher Miller is denying a report that the October and January phone calls made by General Mark Milley to his Chinese counterparts were authorized by then Defense Secretary Mark Esper or himself. Taken from the New York Post, Miller went on to say the pursuit of partisan politics and individual self-interest are a violation of the officer's sacred duty and have no place in the United States military. A lesser-ranking officer accused of such behavior would immediately be relieved of duty pending a thorough and independent investigation. So will General Milley be held accountable, or will he earn a pass because he's just another puppet for the Democrats? Joining me now is Christian Whiton, former senior advisor to the Trump and Bush administrations and editor of Super Macro on Substack. Good to see you, Christian.
Great to be here, Buck. Thanks.
So, Milley, the whole situation, what do you see with all of this? I mean, was he way out of line? Was he sort of out of line? You tell me.
It was pretty out of line, but just for people who are supposed to, at the end of the day, at least be adults, this man just did something that was profoundly stupid. There is no way on God's green earth that Donald Trump was going to attack China. He was elected to end wars, and that is pretty much what he did. He creamed ISIS in order to get us out of that situation, and oversaw drawdowns in the broader Middle East, and certainly wanted not war with China. He wanted a deal with China, a trade deal. He actually got one. So the idea that Milley had to call and do this, it just shows what this person, not in the military chain of command, but supposed to be the president's chief military aide, chief advisor, was really completely clueless. And we've seen this now play out where there is a total lack of accountability, as you alluded to in the intro. Someone who is a captain in the Navy who has a collision with another ship, even if it's not entirely his fault, career over, lucky to get out of it without a court martial, and yet our flag officers or generals and admirals, we just don't seem to hold them to account.
Here's Ted Lieu, member of Congress, claiming that Milley did the right thing. Watch.
What General Milley was referring to was a rogue nuclear launch. That would be an illegal order, and military members do not carry out illegal orders. General Milley absolutely did the right thing by trying to prevent anybody from carrying out an illegal order. Now, at the same time, the fate of the entire world shouldn't depend on one general. And that's why I've introduced legislation for years with Senator Markey that would require congressional authorization before the President of the United States can initiate an unprovoked nuclear first strike.
A rogue nuclear strike. I mean, they're talking about this like they sound intelligent when they put this forward. To me, I'm like, is everyone involved in defending this and talking about it just completely out of their minds? Do they just not know anything? What would you say to Congressman Lieu?
I'm hesitant to engage him on the merits. It's such a stupid argument. And again, the idea that Donald Trump would initiate an unprovoked nuclear attack for why? Because he's upset, completely outlandish. And incidentally, the American people entrusted Donald Trump as commander in chief with the authority to defend us, not a committee of Congress. Alexander Hamilton wrote in the Federalist Papers that military is unique in that it success is distinguished by, I believe he used the term, the guiding of one hand. You cannot have a commander-in-chief that sort of is run by Congress. That's a great way to lose a nuclear war. It's a great way to lose a war in our freedom. It's just so beyond the pale for what is necessary. One thing about Donald Trump, though, is he's the one who chose Mark Milley for this position. It's sort of a long string of extremely disappointing people he chose, both on the civilian and military side of the Pentagon. One other thing to add, we haven't seen any accountability for Lloyd Austin, who's the Secretary of Defense, for the fiasco in Afghanistan, or for Milley. Austin himself was a retired general. I think this raises questions if we want retired generals to be in positions that are supposed to be held by civilians at the top of the Defense Department. Defense Department spokesman is also retired admiral, made it all the way to admiral without ever commanding a ship, just in public relations. And so it's not a big surprise that these people are all standing up for their fellow four-star buddy.